Welcome to Room with Destination Homes, where you'll discover details about new home construction from different perspectives. If you're curious or have questions about home building, you'll find answers as we go room to room. Welcome to another episode of Room. I'm Ryan with Destination Homes. I'm with Shayne Mosher, also from Destination Homes. Shayne is one of our sales agents, and today we are going to spend some time with him getting to know what it's like to be a sales agent, what brought him to the real estate industry, and how long he's been working here, what kind of product you sell. We're going to get into the nitty gritty as far as Shayne Mosher is concerned, and he's super excited.
Yeah.
A little nervous?
A little bit.
No.
Yeah, this is not my realm, right?
Yeah, you're interested in talking to people selling homes and putting you in front of cameras and microphones, but
right.
You'll do great. So first, let's get to know you just a little bit.
Okay.
Where are you from originally?
From Ogden.
Really? From Ogden?
Born and raised in Utah, in Ogden.
And now you live in Davis County?
I do. Yeah, Kaysville for the last 19 years.
Okay, great. And you've been in the new home real estate industry for how long?
25 years.
25. Before that?
Yeah.
What were you?
Well, so before that I was in college.
Okay.
But I got licensed when I was 19.
Oh, wow.
So family business was real estate. So my mom sold for 30 years. And when I got out of college or high school, she had me get licensed so I could help her with, open houses and
Okay,
so
that was the resale market.
That was the resale market, but then went to college, and then when I graduated from college, went into new construction.
Okay, and it's been new construction ever since?
Ever since, yeah, 25 years.
Okay, well, we're going to dive into what it's been like. There's been some highs, lows in the market. There have been probably lots of different products you've sold in different areas. Let's get into it. So Shayne, as we do this room-to-room conversation, we're going to just be seeing different areas in the house, but I wanted to at least mention where we're at. We're in South Jordan, in the Highland Park area of Daybreak. Right? And we're in a townhome product that you're very familiar with. Why don't you tell us just a little bit about what you've been out here doing for the last couple of years?
Yep, so for Destination Homes, I've been selling our townhomes, and I've sold it in several different neighborhoods within Daybreak, which is awesome. And it's awesome because they have so many different product types within one community, but I've sold several of our townhome communities in Daybreak.
And as far as townhome product, that's what you've been doing most and what you're currently doing. What is one of your favorite things about that particular product?
Townhome product is nice because a lot of times if you get, like when I was selling entry-level homes, it was to a specific type of buyer. Or if I moved up to a move-up home, they were moving with that lifestyle. But a townhome allows all buyers to come into this product. So they can be a first-time buyer, or they can be a move-down buyer, or they can be a single individual that just wants to get out and have their own. So it gives me an opportunity to sell to more types of situations and more buyers and solve problems for those buyers.
Yeah. So let's think about that buyer for a second. They're looking for a house. They hit the website. They probably have a lot of questions. What's the most common thing that they're going through that you kind of have to walk them through as far as the process goes?
Oh, it's a good question. And that's tough because it is going to be different because we attract so many different types of buyers. They're all going to have their own situation.
Yeah.
So if it's that first time buyer, right, they may be coming from a rental, or maybe they're coming from, where the home that they were raised. So they just have to get to getting out on their own, right? And what does that entail? What's that going to take? What's a lot of times I'll just sit down with first time buyers and I'll plan out their whole budget with them because they don't know how that's all going to piece together.
Okay.
But if it's a more mature buyer, if they're going, maybe it's a family restructure and coming into a situation where they're leaving their home that they've started their family with, and now they're downsizing or they're coming into a different situation, that's a completely different set of circumstances, as it might be for, a more mature buyer that has raised their family and they don't want the yard and they don't want the 4,000 square foot home and they want a different type of lifestyle. So they're coming into the same product, right? We're all blending in that same product, but they're all coming from different situations.
Yeah. Awesome. So day to day, you never know who's going to be coming through the door.
Correct.
How do you prepare for that? How do you prepare this model, the space? What's day to day like for you?
Day to day is just going to start getting here at a time where you can open it up, get it turned on, be ready for the traffic whenever they come in, because you don't know when they're going to come through, right? And you got to give that experience and that freshness to everybody that walks through the door. So it's really just being here and being prepared, make sure that the home is show ready before your traffic starts walking through the door.
Now this might depend on the person that's coming through the door, but there's let me give you a tour of this house and kind of walk them through it, or why don't you go walk through the house and kind of see what you like and then let's talk after. Do you have a preference? Does it change depending on who it is? How do you feel like people respond to
My natural inclination would be the second. I'm the latter. I'm the kind of the anti-salesperson. I'm going to let them kind of get comfortable with the situation, comfortable with the environment, and it's easier to start a conversation if they have questions. So if they come in and they walk through and they whet their appetite by walking through without me giving a presentation, makes it easier for me to jump into a conversation with them if they have questions about what they've just walked through. But I will follow the lead of the buyer. I'll have some buyers that just come in, they just sit down at my desk. And so we're gonna have a conversation, right? So I'll follow whatever the buyer wants to do.
Well, in a townhome, specifically the way we're doing it here, we sell a townhome when it's basically completed, right?
Which is unique, right? That's not how most will do it.
Okay. But as far as, marketing and letting people know, I mean, we're selling a quick move into a move-in ready home all the time, right?
Yes.
Okay. Talk about the buyer response to that kind of offering versus going to a builder and thinking, oh, I want to choose out, all of the interior, decor and all that kind of stuff and the selections.
Right.
Is it hard for people to kind of just walk in and say, oh, this is how it is, or what choices do I have? Does it help that we kind of make the choice for them, I guess?
It's a good question. I think when we started doing this 4 years ago or so, it took a while for the buyers to realize what we were doing, right? Yeah. Because we weren't giving them the choice. We weren't giving them the option to pick and choose. But there's also a freedom in that where they don't have to go through that process. This way, I present a little differently. I call it a designer showcase home and sell the fact that our designers have put this together. They put thought into this. They're following the up-to-date trends. And we're giving the buyers what they want without having to go through the heartache in the process of selecting each individual component piece. And we've got about 6 different color palettes, and they've been well received.
Shayne, you mentioned being in the industry for 25 years, and during that time, there's been market ups, market downs, a lot to experience, especially given the different locations and products that you've been able to be a part of selling. Talk to me about what it's like transitioning from these different phases, hot markets to maybe a down market, or what we've just experienced, coming out of the pandemic and all the things that kind of have been associated with that. How do you prepare or just evolve?
Right. As an agent, is that kind of how do I personally prepare for that? Going back, well, for the biggest thing is just live within the means of not the high side, but what an average is. Again, after doing it for 25 years, I'm not going to live off of the best years, right? So I've got to manage my family and my life and my finances that I can ride through the lower times. Back in 2009, when the market crashed, my income dropped 80% that year.
Oh dear. I would imagine there's also just kind of a rhythm that you get into as far as just the grind, putting in the work, making phone calls, visits, relationships. And how do you manage all that?
Oh, and you just do it. You're here. You get into a cycle. You get into, like you're saying, a rhythm. But part of it is just being here and being ready when somebody walks through the door. So there may be weeks where I see 15 people, but there also may be weeks where I see 2 people. Right? You still have to be here and be present and be ready to go when the 2 show up, regardless of, if it's at 5:50, 10 minutes before you're going to go. You have to be prepared for the situation when it gets here.
Yeah, and whatever their story is.
And whatever their story is, right? You got to go with it. Exactly. Yeah. And give them the same experience that you give, somebody else. But just, again, you have to be here and be ready for when, whatever situation walks through the door.
Right. Well, awesome. Well, I'm excited for this next little part that we're going to do. I want to get to know this house a little bit, so I'm going to wander around, but I'm going to be inspired by each of these spaces, I'm sure. I'm going to ask a lightning round question to you, just based on where I'm at. Does that sound all right?
Sounds fun.
Okay, great. Let's go. Okay. What do you typically eat for breakfast?
Cheerios.
Electric razor or blade?
Double-edged safety razor.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3 daughters.
Best part of being a dad?
When they were younger, big hugs when I got home.
If you could work a different job at Destination Homes, what would you do?
Nope, I got the best job here.
If you weren't in real estate, what would you be doing?
I wanted to be an architect.
When was the last time you hosted an event at your house?
My twin daughter's 16th birthday.
Bar soap, liquid gel, or foam soap?
Bar soap.
Favorite type of food?
Mexican.
What is your go-to streaming service?
Netflix.
If you're getting a drink from the fridge, what do you hope to find?
Diet Coke.
Are you a night owl or a morning person?
Morning person.
What are your favorite hobbies currently?
Golf.
That's correct.
Shayne, it's been a pleasure to get to know you and kind of the experience that you've had in the new building industry. We've worked together for quite some time, but I've even learned a little bit more about you. And thanks for the tour around this house and obviously all the things you do for Destination Homes. It's a pleasure to work with you.
You as well. And thank you for coming out.
Yeah, thank you. And that's it for this episode of Room to Room. We'll see you on the next one.